Hello, it's time for a disclaimer. This episode is where I'm going to find the two missing emeralds from Crystallized, utilizing hints given to me directly by Render, the map maker. And yeah, I'm going to spend a lot of time looking. I'm not sure after I edit this what it's going to be like, but if it turns out to be frustrating to watch, you can always just skip it and know that I got the two emeralds eventually. But in any case, let's go ahead and get started with the episode. Hello, and welcome back to more Myriad Caves CTM with Brian. And to start things off today, I have some hints about where treasures might be found in Crystallized. We are back at the entrance to Crystallized, and episode like 43 or 44, one of those episodes just aired recently. And so I got to see people's comments on it. And there were comments. Yeah, it looks almost like there might be like a chest like up inside this anemone over here, possibly. I'm unsure. Sometimes when like the transparent glass goes in front of other pieces of transparent glass, it kind of like creates a weird effect. And then it looked like there also might be something over here. And so I'm just going to start things off by looking around inside these anemones and seeing if there's any chests hidden inside here. So yeah, standing right here, that block and possibly that block, but definitely this block looks different. But I think if I like see it from a different angle, it doesn't. It really looked like someone sent me a screenshot of like one frame of the video, and it really looked like there was a chest hidden inside here, but I think actually it's just, I can't even tell with like the three-dimensional structure like which block it was. If I put a torch here and then try to go back to where I originally was looking, I think now it won't look like that anymore. It still looks like something right there, but I'm seeing the blocks that are kind of behind this block, and this block just happens to be a darker color by virtue of the fact that it's not lit up, just kind of like this block over here. I can probably get directly over to this block. The lighting really plays silly buggers with it all. So this block looked like almost like a dark gray stained glass or something, but then if I light it up, it changes. And then this block also was looking super dark gray, and I happen to be looking at an angle where I'm looking up through it and the block behind it and the block behind it and the block behind it, and you can kind of see the parallax going through that block. And so it did make it look like there was a chest inside there, but I don't think there actually is. And there was a similar thing happening directly above my head over here. But I don't think there's actually a chest there. Okay, so that was the first thing I wanted to investigate. Looked like a very interesting screenshot that I hadn't noticed before, but I don't actually think that there is something that we're looking for there. However, I do think there is something that we're looking for below the ground, because I asked Render for a hint. I spent another 2 hours or so searching Crystallized off camera, trying to find some of the missing emeralds. And I was unsuccessful, and so I decided to ask Render for a hint. And his hint basically leads me back down here to an area that after beating this dungeon, I came back here not once, not twice, but 3 times on my own, looking for emeralds and didn't manage to find any. But Render says they're here. I'll actually show you exactly what Render said. I have him on Skype. And after we get over into this area over here, I put it in the text of the chat. Render says, "There in the dark water lies what you are looking for, deep in the maze under the seafloor." So, deep in the maze under the seafloor has got to be this dungeon. And there actually are places. You can see I was probing around over this way and over this way, just like trying to figure out the boundaries. And there's like a bedrock wall over here, for example. But in the dark water, it occurs to me that all the times that I've gone back to this dungeon, I've like looked to try to like light up the ceiling to make sure that I'm seeing that. I don't know that I ever really went, quote unquote, into the dark water. You may recall that some of the water that I encountered over here was where I died in this first room, and like something blew up over here. I don't think it could be in the water in this room, because I've looked down at the water in this room a lot when I was trying to pick up my items. But there is water a few other places in this dungeon, so I'm going to walk around to those places and we're going to check them out more deeply. I've got glowstone at the ready so that I can use it in order to light up what's underwater to see more clearly. So here is the first of the water rooms. This one obviously isn't that well lit because there's a dark spot over here with a bunch of bad guys on it. So let's do that. I think I did show one of the times that I came back. I was recording, even though I was kind of being off camera and not commentating. And I destroyed the spawner that was in the center over here. And it turns out that spawner was a trap that blew up. I thought I looked down in the hole. Oh, crap. Hello. Was not expecting that. I thought I looked down in the hole over there to see if there might have been anything hiding down there. But maybe I didn't look thoroughly, and maybe there's also somewhere else down there that I need to look. So we'll check that out in a moment. I just wanted to light up more of this. And I'd added a little bit more light in various parts of the ceiling. Now up here, there's actually something that I'm seeing now for the first time, I think. Are those like half slabs? I'm not sure that I ever noticed. Maybe a creeper blew up over here, but I'm not sure that I ever noticed that the wall was kind of a funny shape over here. And so we're going to check this out first too, even though this is not in the dark water. Yeah, that's interesting. It does look like there was an explosion up here, and so I wonder if there was a skeleton and a creeper who spawned up on the ledge over here, and the skeleton shot the creeper, or something at some point in the past. Okay, in any case, I definitely want to come down here, because I thought I'd been down here, I thought I'd kind of looked around, but this is definitely a place that could hold some kind of secret. Maybe this exploded out and there is a little passage in the wall or something, though I'm really not seeing one right now. Alright, I don't think there's any kind of passage down there, but there's also a whole lot of water around here, so let's look carefully. Oh! Let's look carefully at all the water that's here. Sure enough, this is actually... It would be interesting when this room started out and it was completely dark, and I could... I guess it's directly underneath this, so you're not going to see it from the top. But yeah, sure enough, that was quite a good enough hint that it immediately led me to one of these emeralds. So there's emerald number 30. And I think we're still missing like emerald number 29. And so I wonder if it'll just be like a similar kind of place. There's one or two other rooms that are very similar to this room that might also hide an emerald. And so let me see if I go to one of those. I should also look around carefully in the floor of this room as well. Okay, I didn't find anything in the floor of this room. I also added some torchlight just to make sure that I could see that there was nothing on the ceiling. And there is another one of these kind of crazy, parkour rooms over here that I remember like had some loot at the bottom. And yeah, over here, looks like this one. Is that a skeleton over there? No, that's a piece of cobblestone in the wall. I have eyes. I can see these things. This one is kind of like a different shape, and so I'm not sure exactly if there was a hole in the ground, where exactly it would be or what it would look like. Let me just... It's very easy to like lose track of a little hole in the water or something over here, so let me use some glowstone and make sure that the water is very well lit. I didn't think... I guess night vision potion, if I'm outside of the water looking down into the water, would have been a good thing to bring. I didn't think to bring that, but I think the glowstone's going to light it up pretty well. Alright, I feel like I looked pretty thoroughly in this room. I didn't find anything. There's at least one more room where there might be something, and that is the room that contains the wool. Or contained the wool. I guess still contains the wool, because I always just take one of the 5 out of the box. Here we go. Here's the wool room. And so it's a similar kind of style thing. So let me put some glowstone kind of around in the water to make sure I have a good place to look here. Once again, it doesn't seem like it's kind of, I don't know, able to conceal the same type of hole in the ground that might have been found in the other area. So I don't think we're going to find it here. But maybe there's somewhere else I still need to look. For completeness sake, I also did dig a hole underneath the loot chest, just because there happens to be a sea lantern on the bottom. And sea lanterns are kind of like signifying loot chests, or sorry, signifying the emerald chest sometimes. I don't see it in here, and I don't remember any other places. There in the dark water lies what you were looking for, deep in the maze under the seafloor. I'm not sure if that refers to both emeralds, or just the one I found. I'm stopping back at home to go ahead and drop off emerald number 30, which goes right there. And as for emerald number 29, I talked to Render again, and I had actually misunderstood what he was saying in terms of hints. I thought that he was telling me that both of the emeralds, 29 and 30, were found below ground inside the dungeon, but only number 30 there. Number 29 is apparently above the water level of the Great Lake, and so we need to go back and look topside for that one. So I'm back at the entrance to Crystallized once again. Render gave me another riddle, although from the sounds of this one, I'm not sure how much of it is a riddle versus kind of just telling me where to look, kind of. But he says, this emerald is not green, but more magenta. Some would even say it's a bit red. Don't leave him hanging. It is the case that I have already built into the ceiling a number of places, trying to light up the ceiling and also just kind of like climb up to take a better look at some of these anemones. And so, yeah, if there's something weird with some of the colors over here, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where to start to. If I were going to hide one, there's already one that was like down here in the ice and one that's over here. So I think either like this one seems like a good one to go, and I've been up here before, so we can get up there pretty quickly. But I'm really curious to see if it's something that when I'm up kind of close to it, I'll at least be able to spot it or see what's different. I have already noticed in this area, for example, the blue tree in the back that I think we saw in the previous episode that held a secret underneath it. And so when there's a piece of colored glass that's the wrong color for the area, you know that something is afoot. But I'm just kind of looking around at these. This one especially seems like a good potential place to hide it, although I don't see anything that's magenta or red over there. I know if you go around the corner, that's where it's orange. Is it ever red there? I don't remember. And I can't tell if there's funny colors happening right over there. Ooh. Right there? I'm leaning into my monitor. I'm not sure if it's just kind of like one color in front of another, but it looks a little bit weird. Let me change the parallax of what's in the front and what's in the back over here by moving over here. Right there, something looks a little bit weird, I think. And so that might be like right over the center of the lake. I'm going to see if I can pillar directly up there next, I think. All right, I'm up in the sky. We were originally looking from over here, so I think it's either like this one. That one's actually really recessed in the ceiling a lot, so I might want to investigate it. And also this one. Let me go ahead and just get some more blocks on the bar ready to go, and I guess we'll start by heading over in this direction. But basically, we're just gonna, I don't know, look around inside these guys. Right now, I don't see anything that's kind of, you know, popping to my eye as something that's different. There might be like some recess in the ceiling over there. I'm not sure that I see one. Any kind of ceiling recess over in here. I did multiple times actually in the past. Once yesterday and once, I don't know, a long while ago. Took some night vision potions into this area and just kind of like looked up into the ceiling to see if I could see anything out of the ordinary. But I do not see anything out of the ordinary inside this guy. So I'm going to try over here next. And now I'm breaking some of the pink glass over in this guy just so that I can kind of get a little bit closer up into the ceiling, but it looks like it's just kind of like lit from the light over here, and there isn't actually really a recess in the ceiling. It's just kind of the bright green color that comes as a result of the kind of well-lit prismarine blocks that are here on the ceiling. So I think the next place I'll go is to that well-recessed one that's over in the center of the ceiling, back over here. So I was just over there, I built a bridge over here, and for this one I'm going to have to go up higher. I can't really tell up in here if there's anything right now. Let's just go up really high so that we can start getting some light on the ceiling to appreciate the recessed ceiling that's over here and add some more light. I don't see anything that's red mixed in, for example. And yeah, there still might be something recessed in the ceiling over there. Let me get closer. All right, I've lit up the very top portion of the ceiling over here, and I don't see anything jumping out at me here. And so I don't think it's this one. Once again, the emerald is not green, but more magenta. Some would even say a bit red. Don't leave him hanging. Magenta, red, hanging. So the next place I wanted to look was over in this section that leads over to Delusion, because I do remember, yeah, there's a red anemone over here, but there's also red and orange trees. And I think I've already climbed up into this anemone already to look around, or maybe I climbed up into the one next to it, but let me get over there where I've been before. Yes, I'd already made a ladder up here, and I'd even noticed that this red anemone was kind of like intersecting this pole, but maybe I didn't look carefully enough. I don't remember if I showed this on camera or not. I've done a lot of work off camera over the last few days, but let's kind of like take a closer inspection of the red. Like possibly could it be like embedded inside this pole over here somehow? Or, because I think this might be the only red anemone that one finds, and it's kind of hanging. It's not exactly hanging. It's kind of hanging, I don't know, off the wall or off of this pole over here. Oh, crap. Yep. But I don't know that I'm immediately seeing the emerald nevertheless. Let me continue to just kind of putz around. Actually, while I'm looking around, there actually is a second red anemone. And I think actually I made a ladder down through over there, and so we can investigate that. Pretty sure I did that one off camera, but I can show you what I did because I'm not seeing anything over in this one. But basically, I'd realized, and there's actually a zombie who just spawned over there right now, right over there, but I'd realized when I was last over here that there were monsters kind of spawning on this bit. Yeah, I guess I didn't really exactly go down there. And so I was trying to add some more light over there just to see if there were things. Ooh, did that guy? Oh, I thought he dropped an enchanted book. But I think I ended up going down this pillar to come out the wall over here, but I don't know that I ever went into this crazy red anemone. And actually over there, it looks like there might be kind of a tinge of green, but we should have a path down there. I don't know if this is interesting to people, but I just want to show off some of the things that I'm doing off camera. So basically, I had built this little staircase that goes down this pole because I realized the pole that was visible way up top, it kind of like goes through the world and then becomes visible again down in the bottom, right down here. And so it goes all the way down to the obsidian floor, but it's kind of like going through the middle of the world over here. And so I wanted to cut through that. I don't know that I ever really took a good look at this red anemone, though. And so let's kind of make our way over to it and get a closer look at it. Since it's one of only apparently 2 red anemones that's in here. Oh gosh. Okay, there's a hole right here. It's very hard with the glass to kind of like always see exactly what you're looking at. But I wonder if I'm up here, like up against the wall right over here, if there's going to be a place where an emerald could be hiding. Let me look around for a bit. One of the things that's always frustrating about these searches is that in the process of trying to look around, like I need to light things up, but I know that in the process of lighting things up, I will be destroying any lighting cues that may have already been somewhere. And so maybe there was like a tiny patch of light going somewhere in the wall over here or something that I would have seen earlier, but now I won't see it because I'm lighting every gosh darn thing up. But I'm not seeing anything that looks emerald-like hanging from this red anemone. Is there another red anemone somewhere else? Now I'm in the back of the area where there was this loot box. You can see kind of the emerald that was hanging over and where we originally just were bridging over the ceiling over there. Looking up here, that almost looks kind of like a red block or almost like a chest, but it's just kind of like parallax of different purples. Looks kind of like the same kind of thing might be happening over here, but I'm going to try to get up into the ceiling. I'm going to run out of blocks, but I'm going to see if I can get up into the ceiling and take a look at these 2 guys at least. Yeah, having gone straight up now that I'm above it, that no longer looks like something that's red or a chest. Don't see anything in the ceiling over here. I don't think I see anything in here either. Whenever I am walking around this area, I keep getting surprised by monsters who are kind of like falling off of high ledges as I walk by. And it's really weird because you know, it's a creeper's not going to blow me up when I'm wearing this armor. But when I've been quietly looking and just kind of studying the ceiling for a while, and then all of a sudden I hear, tss, it really startles me. I think it's just kind of like a matter of like being in the mood of just kind of looking around and not thinking about monsters for a while, and then all of a sudden, like one of them comes right down next to you, and it's really startling. In any case, trying to move on to another, I don't know, quadrant, like over towards Fluffscape, and see if I see something else that looks like magenta and or red hanging from the ceiling over here. The entrance is back over there. The back where we just were was kind of over here. For some reason, my spidey sense is tingling around here. I'm not sure if it's because so much of this purple or magenta guy is like not very well lit, and so there's like darker colors that I can't see what they are. But I'm going to try to go over there next. Yeah, but I've added some light to that one and to this one. There's like a block that's just like floating over here, which is kind of unusual. But I'm not seeing it. After still not having any luck the better part of an hour, I was talking to Render again. He suggested that night vision potions might help, and so I'm brewing up some more of those. I very recently found... I don't remember which area it was, but I found a stack of 32 golden carrots, and so I can make as many night vision potions as I want, so I'm going to make a bunch. Deja vu all over again. We are back at the entrance of Crystallized. I'm going to drink a potion of night vision, and if that runs out, I'm going to drink another potion of night vision, etc. I got a vague impression from talking to Render that over in kind of the back left corner near Delusion might be where is the best place to look. I don't know. He's being cryptic, but that's good. I don't want him to just tell me where it is. But it sounded like having the night vision potion might actually help. It's a trade-off. And one thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go back and look at Emerald number 30. I bet you it would have been easy to see Emerald number 30 with night vision. It's definitely a trade-off from the point of view, I've talked about it before, but my monitor brightness is very low, and I keep it that way because when I make my monitor brighter, I get headaches when I'm sitting in front of the computer all day, and I don't like getting headaches, and so I keep the monitor brightness low. But that often means that it's hard for me to see things that are kind of like in dark portions of the area, so that's one aspect of the trade-off. And so night vision potions will allow me to see a whole lot more distinctly and a whole lot more color, but night vision potions also have the trade-off that if there's a lighting cue anywhere, I'm going to miss the lighting cue because the lighting cue gets washed out, and so there's kind of trade-offs in all directions. If I had a brighter monitor, I might be able to see things, but I get more headaches. If I use night vision potions more often, I might be able to see various colors and things far away more easily, but then I would miss the lighting cues, and so nothing is kind of perfect. But in any case, I'm going to try to look and see if I see kind of any odd colors related to reds and purples, or reds and magentas. What was it he said originally? Emerald is not green, but more magenta. Some would even say it's a bit red. Don't leave him hanging. I feel like don't leave him hanging is definitely saying we need to check out one of the anemones. I was over here looking at this red one. I don't know that I've looked at it with night vision, and so let's get a closer look right now. So I'm up inside this red anemone with night vision. I don't see anything against the wall. I don't see anything out here. We'll go down and take a better look at that one. I don't think I see anything up here. Let me just get up. I've got kind of a good overview of the whole area over here and just make sure I'm not missing anything kind of like right over here too. There's a creeper who just jumped through a fire over there and burned. Okay, so I did a bit of looking around. I don't think it's over here in the delusion section. And so let's move things out a little bit wider and start checking over here. I remember trying to look kind of like directly up. I just saw a creeper somewhere, I think. Let's make sure it was a creeper and not actually an emerald. I saw something green up here. There's the creeper. I think that's what I just saw. Creepers, why you gotta be similar colors to emeralds? Making things very difficult on me. But let's start taking a look. Is there something green there? I think I'm just seeing the corner of a prismarine block. Let's go up there and look. Alright, up here in the ceiling with this anemone, I definitely don't think I see anything up here. I should have been using, I think, what is it, pillar quartz that I've got going? before, because my diamond pick just like cuts through it like nothing. If I want to pillar up and then just come back down immediately, it's a very fast way to go up and down. So this is a good block to use. It's also white, and so it's not going to cause me to obscure some of the other useful colors in this area. I don't see it now, but very briefly I thought I might have seen something green kind of up in here somewhere. And so where is that? I guess if I am... We're over near the back, where that one grand treasure chest is. I'm going to try to pillar right up here, and we'll drink another night vision potion so this one is wearing off. Alright, I pillared directly up into this one with no night vision. I definitely don't see anything here. So let's turn on the night vision. Is there something right there? I'll have to go take a closer look. Nope, I don't see anything in the ceiling there. I don't see anything red alongside any of the magenta over here. Is there something else that would be red other than just like, you know, red stained glass? Like maybe, I feel like I've been trying to find like a little piece of red stained glass or something that's red and out of the ordinary like that, but maybe I'm looking for the wrong kind of thing. Although I don't know what the right kind of thing would be to look for. Are any of the colors different over there than what I originally thought? That's just kind of pink. That's kind of magenta. I don't see anything that's other colors up in there. I'm looking around from the ground now over in the neighborhood of Fluffscape, which is over at the top of that waterfall. There's one of the ones I just went up to, and I actually added some torchlight to see kind of more distinctly some of what was pink over there. But we have some magenta here. I don't really see any red. And I don't see anything that looks like it could be an emerald. I think this is the only one that's kind of hanging over in this vicinity. Alright, Render sent me another little bit of a clue. Don't leave me hanging like a cliffhanger. A cliffhanger. It could either be in the metaphorical sense or, once again, kind of in the literal sense. But in terms of cliffs, actual cliffs in this area, I can only think of 3 places. One is right here. There's kind of like sheer cliffs along the area that leads to Fluffscape. And I don't think I've seen anything that's like hanging purple or red kind of along those cliffs. Another is in the back of the area. I'm not sure that the cliffs there are actually like all that sheer. And then the third one's going to be over in Delusion, which is going to cause me to spend a bit more time looking over in the Delusion kind of red-orange section a whole lot more again. But these are kind of cliffs that are here, but there really isn't anything kind of like hanging along the sides of these cliffs, I don't think. And I think back over near the Grand Treasure Chest that's over here, there aren't really cliffs really. Like there's like a tiny cliff here really. But these cliffs are not that grand. I guess there's also kind of cliffs along the front side here actually. Like there's this pink one and that magenta one. Oops, scrap. Glad I have feather falling. Let's eat a delicious pork chop. I decided to switch to pork chops to kind of mix things up, because I've been eating steak for so long. I needed some variety in my diet. Yeah, I guess there's kind of cliffs along here, actually, and I really haven't looked like this guy. I haven't taken a good look at this guy. That's actually a possibility. Let's take a look at that. Look at all the bad guys here. Skeleton, zombie, like on just the tiny little edges that are over here. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's kill these guys since I can actually see them. So this is kind of a cliff, and this is kind of hanging off of the cliff, I feel like. I'd made this little ledge. That guy is definitely not a cliffhanger. He's a possibility as well. Here's another creeper who is distracting me due to his greenness. But let's see if there's anything red over in here. I could probably actually use ladders to climb up the side of this maybe so I can get up and down. Okay, so I climbed up into this anemone with the ladder. But that said, I really don't think I see anything here. I'm back over to the Delusion area once again, because the combination of red and cliffhanger makes me think once again that I need to go down to, oops, this hanging anemone. But I'd like to get down on my own terms, skeleton, and I guess actually I haven't like scaled this cliff kind of downward over here, like if I were going towards this cliff. from the actual top. Would I see anything over here? I don't have a night vision potion going. Let's fix that. Ran out once again. Okay, so night vision so we can see everything. And I don't think I just missed anything on the side of the cliff here, so I'm going to jump down here. Ouch. I'm looking on this cliff side that this red thing is hanging from. And I'm not immediately seeing anything. And it's also, oops, yeah, I was going to say it's also really hard to tell when you have a bunch of glass blocks, like where the glass blocks are. So I'm occasionally just like falling through holes. Okay, that's a big hole that I would just fall right through. I just want to get kind of like a little bit farther down and a better, oops, all right, well. I'm down here now. There's a little bit of catwalks that I've built. But that's like, it's a cliff hanger. It's hanging off of the side of a cliff. It's red. I guess actually this is red too. Like the netherrack? I hadn't really thought about that. There's another creeper up there. It's going to fall on my head and try to kill me. That's just the quartz block that I just placed. Oh man. I'm not finding this. I asked Render to help narrow down the search, and basically kind of said, like, there's an area near Fluffscape, there's this alcove, there's the entrance, etc. And the areas he suggested were the lake, the back of the area towards the grand treasure chest, and the area towards Delusion. And so the intersection of those is kind of around this little portion. In terms of cliffhangers, I don't think there's any, like, colorful things here. I guess, actually, this guy isn't really a cliffhanger, though, right? This guy who's, like, he said it's above the surface of the water, so it couldn't be this guy, I don't think. In terms of... Right, this is just a little tunnel that I dug. I've dug a lot of tunnels in this area as well. Just trying to, like, get different perspectives, like, coming out of walls from different locations or whatever. But over here, there's kind of cliffs. Cliffhanger could be, like, this anemone over here. And then... could also be, like, this pink one that's directly above me over here. And it also could be, like, this purple one up here, maybe? Let me get back up to the top of this. Like, if you want people to find it, like, it must be somehow visible. I feel like there's got to be an out-of-place color. Like, we had the blue tree that I found the bow underneath. And so no other trees were blue. It was a blue tree. You know, no other anemones were light green, and that was one of the obvious emeralds to find. And so there's got to be some kind of relatively obvious color clue that I ought to be able to see. So let me just get up in a good perspective where I can kind of like see all of that stuff happening. I'd already built a ladder up this pillar as well as a staircase up into the ceiling over here, but it occurs to me that on this ladder, it's kind of a good place to look. It's really frustrating when out of the corner of my eye I'm like, ooh, I see green on a cliff. But no, it's just a creeper once again. Bye-bye, creeper. Oh, my arrow just bounced off. Good job, arrow. I still haven't been able to find this thing. Ah! Oh, holy crap. I think I found it. So along this ledge, it looks like there's a little alcove over here with the emerald. Oh my gosh. I still have 3 minutes of night vision. I don't have any milk to like go ahead and clear it out. I wonder if there's... It's probably a little bit of light... Well, no, there's no light source over here, right? Like whatever light is coming from below the emerald would be way too far away, so I think there's no light source here. So it's just a matter of you had to be here. And then the other thing I wonder is if I was over inside this emerald, would I be able to see this little hole and alcove? I'm going to go take a look at that. Let's go ahead and grab the emerald. And... Interesting. Like, I'm trying to reconcile this with the clue. Not green, but more magenta. Some would even say it's a bit red. Don't leave me hanging like a cliffhanger. Is it because it's like the mycelium that's here in the front? that's kind of magenta reddish color, maybe? I don't know, but I want to go back up to that emerald and see if I can, like, see this whole... Well, I could probably just reverse it. Can I, like, see that emerald from over here? Where is that emerald? It's behind this tree, so no. Is there any good vantage point that you would have that you'd kind of, like, see this other than climbing directly over these blocks? Yeah, I don't know that there is. And I think once, at least once, I came kind of like jumping off this cliff and kind of like fell down here, but obviously I was headed in this direction, and so I didn't see this before. All right, but we got emerald number 29. That took way longer than I thought it was going to. But I'm happy to have it done, so let's go put it back in the emerald chest. I'm going to have to decide how I want to edit this episode. Maybe I'll put a disclaimer at the front that it's mostly frustrated Brian walking around looking aimlessly, trying to find things even with good hints. I'd actually already made it back to the monument, but Render was asking for some feedback, and there was also something else I wanted to check out. But first off, I just want to see what this area looks like over here. Hi, Spider. Yeah. I know you're excited to be on camera. I wanted to see what this area looks like without... I see, without the night vision. And so basically, we have a bunch of prismarine that's here, and then there's a little patch of mycelium and path blocks kind of right over here. And I guess if you're looking from, well, I really don't think that there's an angle that you could look from, where you could see the light kind of like coming in from around the corner. Yeah, I don't think that there's anywhere you would really see the light coming out over here. But it's kind of like a little cliff of mycelium. Like, why is the mycelium here on this cliff? That I guess could call out that there's something a little bit interesting, because there aren't any other places necessarily where there's mycelium on the walls. I mean, I guess it's kind of discontinuous there. I don't know. I don't think that that's a particularly good hint. And so I was just trying to see what it looked like without night vision. And I don't know, maybe if you make this tree a different color so that you would come down just like the blue tree. If you would come down and check what's underneath the tree. If I'd come down to this tree after finding the thing under the blue tree, like suppose this was a blue tree and I came to chop this down, I think I'd have a hard time chopping this down without also seeing this. And so maybe something that makes us go to the base of this tree, or using a different type of wood on this tree or something. I don't know, different type of wood on the tree might be too obvious. But that's one thing I want to check. The other thing I wanted to check is emerald number 30, which I didn't find until I got the hint, despite the fact that I'd looked in the dungeon 3 times on my own. I want to see if I had night vision. I bet you this one would actually be really easy to see with night vision, so I'm going to go down underwater and check it out. So here we are. I had placed a piece of glowstone to make this emerald a little bit more visible, visible. I think I just said miserable. But I'm going to break that. And so now over here, I mean, I definitely have some of my own torchlight over here. This one's actually particularly distracting. Let's break this so that it looks kind of more like what things would look like when you're first coming in and lighting up this room. And so I definitely don't see it over there now, but if I drink the potion of night vision, yes, now I can see that there is a square hole there. Admittedly, since it's directly underneath this platform, it's still going to be relatively hard to see. But I can imagine at least like catching that in video editing afterwards or something, or if I was trying to parkour back up here or something, possibly seeing that. So that one is still quite hard to find, in my opinion, but it's much more reasonable than emerald number 29. And so I'll try to give some feedback about what could be used to improve number 29. All right, but let's finally finish this off. We have emerald number 29. It goes right there. And now the only missing emeralds we have are in the Lumen Spire, in the Moonlit Miasma, and in Delusion, as well as the 3 emeralds that are in the area that we've only just started to do, the final area of the map. But I will worry about that at some point in the future. For now, for those of you who managed to watch this whole episode, I haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to do in editing, so maybe it won't be that bad. But I appreciate it. I hope, as always, that you guys are having a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon as we get closer and closer to finishing off this map. Bye-bye.